Morning, Lily.
Morning. We're going down to the Tilikum crossing.
For what?
Breakfast on the Bridges. 20th anniversary.
That's why you're wearing a donut skirt.
Yes, I mean, this isn't that unusual for me anyway.
Breakfast on the Bridges is one of Portland's favorite biking traditions. It's just what it sounds like. Folks like Lily go and set up shop on the bridges and offer free coffee, food, pastries, all kinds of wonderful things. And the whole idea is just to get to know folks, chat, build community. So it's really wonderful. That's where Lily and I are headed as we do this interview.
Lily, why the heck do you get up so early to give free pastries and coffee to people on the bridges?
I don't know the answer to that question. I think because it's fun, it's nice, it's lighthearted.
How long have you been involved?
I first started in 2007, so 15 years.
Wow.
And Breakfast on the Bridges altogether started in 2002. I think I might be the longest running regular volunteer now.
What does it entail? Your apartment looked really nice this morning, but I did see some coffee spills, like is it a bit wild? Like tell me a little bit about the prep to give away coffee to all these people.
Well, so we use a percolator at our bridge, which I know some of the coffee snobs don't love, but we get coffee donated from Trailhead Coffee Roasters, which is like super cool local bike oriented business. So they provide the coffee, and then I get up at like just before 4, set up the first round of the percolator. I've sworn for years that I'll get like an automatic timer because I set it up the night before.
Yes.
And then I wouldn't have to wake up if I got like a timer outlet. Haven't done that. The percolator just makes like 42 cups of coffee, and usually we make 84 for a bridge depending on the season.
What are your professional qualifications that allow you to be the BeyondB's longest serving volunteer?
I get up extremely early. I've had a bunch of jobs where I have to start working really early, and I've always negotiated for the last Friday off upon hire.
And then do they ask, do your prospective bosses ask why, and you have to tell them?
Yeah, I work in transit, and so...
They get it.
They get it, yeah.
Are there other volunteers like you right now ascending down toward these bridges, or like there's gonna be 3 or 4 bridges today?
So there's people coming from every direction in the city. It used to be that people kind of volunteered for the bridge closest to their house, but a lot of people like me have moved, changed bridges, and I think at this point, most of the volunteers are working at the bridge farthest from their house.
That seems less than ideal, but especially in the morning when minutes are precious, right?
Well, and we're adding 2 new bridges, and because of that, we're doing a bunch of like reorganization of volunteers and bridges right now. We're really going whole hog on the car-free bridges. So Hawthorne is probably getting retired. And Blumenauer is getting added. And Flanders, it's their first Friday today.
Oh, exciting. Yes, and it's hard to keep up with all the new car-free bridges in Portland.
I know,
I know. Okay, I have to get a shot of like your flowing, I'm gonna get a little ahead of you. Look at this, the flowing donut skirt.
If we really want to make it flow, here we go.
Look at that. Oh, extra special frillies, I love it. Did it really change a lot during COVID? I mean, like this whole thing was initially, right, thinking you'd get a bunch of commuters going downtown and you could propagandize the bike gospel to them and whatever else. But now, has there been a lot less people? What's it been like?
We paused in-person Breakfast on the Bridges for 14 months. And then we did like a BYO BeyondB last summer for Pedalpalooza, where people were encouraged to go get their own coffee on a bridge on a Friday, every Friday, and if they did 10 of them, they got a special Breakfast on the Bridges champion mug, and we like biked to their house and brought them a donut in the mug. It was really fun, and we called them breakfast champions.
Nice.
And the people that earned their breakfast champion mug bring them to the real Breakfast on the Bridges now.
Nice.
And they're all like so proud.
I love that. I love all these stories about how like these bike culture community building things survived during COVID.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Like Pedalpalooza had like, do your own ride in spirit as if people were around or whatever, they did that. And
that was, well, and the coolest part was people got really creative with the bridges, because one of the bummer things about BeyondB is like, people are always like, why don't you do this bridge? Why don't you do that bridge? As someone who commutes over the I-205 bridge into Vancouver, like I wish we had a B&B up there, but also I see like a grand total of 4 people riding bikes, and it's a 2-mile long bridge. So
That's probably because there's no free breakfast, though. I mean, it's just like...
I don't think that people commute for breakfast on the bridges.
Right.
Although that's happened a lot more since COVID. Like a lot of people, definitely our bike volumes have gone down. I think Tilikum was the least hurt of all the bridges because nursing students and dental students and all the students at OHSU came back in person to work earlier.
Right.
But we still have less traffic volume. We get a lot more people that actually like try to hit every bridge and do it as like a fun activity.
If someone that sees this wanted to do like a B&B, I mean, I would imagine it's relatively portable, or no? Is it something that you think people with the right get a coffee pot and some mugs? Like, how would you tell people to do it on their own?
Be friendly is the first category. So like, I think there's some people who want to do it and they want to do it for the
coffee aspect?
The coffee aspect.
I know what you mean.
And like it's more a community building thing, and we happen to have coffee. We use it as a tool for community building and connecting. And like one of, I think, the best parts about it is it gets people that ride bikes, that ride scooters, that walk, the morning runners on the waterfront, like they all come together and talk. And I think we spend a lot of time going past each other in those spaces, and B&B is a meeting place. So being friendly is the first part, but all you really need is, I recommend 3 people if you're gonna do it on a consistent basis.
3,
so that if one person is out of town, the other is not standing all alone on a bridge by themselves.
True.
Because you do feel pretty sketchy when you're all out there alone, no matter how many signs you have.
Maybe especially in the more wintry months when it may be a little darker than it is right now. Okay, so, woo, good one.
There we go.
It worked. Okay, it's still here. But it's not only just coffee. Like I've seen pictures where people are making omelets and like pancakes and everything. So like, does the menu? What's the range of menu?
The menu is whatever we feel like. So we tend to get more elaborate when. In the summer, like it used to be that we did it every single Friday during Pedalpalooza, which once Pedalpalooza expanded to a month long, that required 6 straight weeks of B&B because we'd have the end of May and then all that. And by the end of, I actually made a graph at one point that was the motivation level for what we cooked for breakfast on the bridges based on the week of Pedalpalooza it was. And like by the end, we're like, here's some day-old donuts, have fun. All right, we're turning here.
So wait, you're actually, some folks are baking like fresh muffins as well. That's a normal thing.
I mean, I haven't done that in a while, but yes, some bridges make stuff fresh.
Muffins, fresh baked muffins on your morning commute. I love it.
So today we're gonna be having, I have vegan donuts on the back, and then we have vegan and gluten-free pancakes we'll be cooking on the bridge.
So you mentioned like building community as like a key thing. That was a neat bit of history that I saw you share recently where you said when Amy Stork and Aileen Karate started it, it was really just to like, you know, do the whole like pamphlet sharing of like the big ride at the time, like critical mass or whatever else. So like in your mind, like what is like the key thing? Is it's really just talking to people and like face-to-face connections?
What I love about it is there is no agenda. Like people are always like, what are you selling? Are you trying to get me to find Jesus?
What are you protesting? That's what we always get, especially if a bike is around, right?
Exactly. And so I'm always just like, no, we're not like, we have local businesses, but it's not advertising for anybody. It's just saying thank you for riding a bike or walking. And I think that is the best part about it. Like we have people, you know, we had a elected officials team who was like, we'll come staff every single bridge for this Friday. We work on bridges. And I was like, we welcome you to stop by as a regular commuter. We'd love to talk with you. But like, we don't want to be a place where politicians, you know, try to shill their ideas or whatever. We just want to be a nice community thing. You know, we get people that are living outside as the same as we get, you know, fancy surgeons on their way to the hospital. So
yeah, I feel like it follows a lot of the other Portland bike culture stuff, where, or at least this side of the bike fun side, where it's like free fun. There's a real intentional effort to not like commercialize necessarily. Although obviously you get sponsorship and donations from folks to keep it going, which is key.
It's so low key. Like I've been using the same percolator that I inherited from the person who inherited it from before me. So it must be 18 years old. Like I was just remarking on the fact, I think I used to have 4 AirPods, and Aaron was like, oh yeah, I think I borrowed one from the Steel like 7 years ago. Like, it's a very low operation situation. And so, you know, starting a new bridge is the biggest like outlay for us because we need to get new signs, we have to get, you know, new airpots, which are expensive, and percolators, but then we're done and we make it work. Yeah, I think it's really one of the like foundational parts of bike culture in Portland.
And I imagine for you, like, that may be another thing that kind of gets you out of bed and keeps you going is like just keeping it alive, especially now with 20 years.
Yeah. Oh, now we feel like we can't.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to be the one who ended B on B. One of the hard things about Portland bike culture is there's so many traditions where you have to assess if they're still serving you and they're still needed. And Breakfast on the Bridges, like, one thing we have to question is like, do we change it to, you know, changing commute patterns or new bridges, but while like still honoring, turning here, sorry.
Yeah, it's good.
While still like keeping it around and honoring it. And I think that's one of the challenges of like any long-standing Portland tradition is going, what do we need to keep and what changes as Portland changes?
All right, we're at the bridge. So you have regulars that'll just like you'll see every time?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Some of them work like and commute on the bridge, and then some of them are just people that are Breakfast on the Bridges fans who hit every single bridge.
It's like running a little cafe.
Yep. Might be a weird cafe, but.
Yeah, you got it good doing Tilikum. So does your seniority allow you to pick the biggest, nicest, quietest bridge?
We actually just kind of talked about that. Like, some new people were like, I want to do this bridge. And we're like, great. And then we're like, wait, maybe we should let seniority have a factor in this.
You ever shown up and then there's like someone waiting with their mug? Like, where?
Yes. Oh, dozens of
really?
times.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so funny.
I think on every bridge. And sometimes I open and it takes 15 minutes before someone stops. So.
Oh yeah. Thanks for letting me interview you while you bike to Breakfast on the Bridges, Lily. It was awesome talking.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, there we go.